Hey y'all, it's Bennett, and welcome to another Pickups video, Birthday Edition 2023. That's right, if there's one holiday that shines the brightest on every calendar throughout the world, it's my birthday. March 19th, for those of you who were not aware. And as I have often done in years past, I celebrated my birthday by going shopping at the video game store. Specifically, I went up to a store in Newnan, Georgia, which is kind of sort of near where I live. It's an hour and a half away. And that store is called Full Circle Toys. And they have everything. They have a very, very good video game section in the back, but the front is just every nostalgic toy you could possibly imagine, from vintage Transformers and Star Wars and G.I. Joe and Turtles and He-Man and all that. They had, old stuff like early G.I. Joe, the ones that are just, huge. And I don't know, everything other kind of like figure and toy and so forth. Action figures from like the superhero lines and the Simpsons figures and Ghostbusters and all that good stuff. So I could spend a very long time just poking around the front section. But this being my birthday and me being who I am, I spent more time in the back section with the video games. And there they have a very nice selection of retro to modern video games. And sure enough, I managed to find a few. Now, I did bring several sacks of games in there from my to-be-dealt-with piles of games that I hadn't put out on eBay or Mercari yet, and laid them on the table for some store credit. And I managed to get get $250 worth of store credit, and that's what I used as my kind of back of my head what I need to think about in terms of my price range. So what can you get for $250 at Full Circle Toys? Well, there's a lot of stuff that you could, and I put back a few cool things like a really good Saturn game, the name of which escapes me, and they had a copy of Castlevania that was complete, but they wanted like 210, which was a little higher than I would be willing to pay for it even complete, but still it was a close call. Instead, I thought, let's spread this store credit around and get a bunch of different things. So I did, and I'll show you what I got right now. First we have, and I looked through every loose game they had in their bins of loose discs, hoping to find really a lot of PlayStation 2 games that I need to put in some cases that I have, and came up with only a couple PS3 games to actually bring home, but that's okay. They had lots and lots to go through, and I had a good time digging through it, even though I only got a couple to bring home. And they are MLB The Show 14, which, this is just to fill a case. This is many years down the road. I don't guess there's any reason to play MLB The Show 14, but I have the case, and that was something I could get with my store credit. And we also had Midnight Club Dub Edition Remix, PlayStation Hits version, Greatest Hits version on the PS2 here. So, excuse me, I guess one was PS3 and one was PS2. And that was $20.99, which is, I had hoped to find this for, practically nothing somewhere along the way, but so far came up empty, so I went ahead and picked it up when I could use store credit on it. and I can put that in the case I have for that and sell it back into the world, because I already have that in my collection, one to keep. So, sell back out into the world, having spent store credit on it. That'll work out. And let's see, what else? We worked on the old Wii U collection some with Tank! And that is complete. And then Xenoblade Chronicles X Cross, or 10 I suppose, but it's not 10. And that is also, well, I mean, complete as Wii U games usually are. Again, this is, digital manual situation. So, but anyway, so I was able to add that to the collection, spending store credit. Nice looking copies of those. And we went through some of the NES games. Like I said, I strongly considered picking up the Castlevania they had there, but I decided my money would be better spent on a few games instead of just kind of all of them in one big shot. So we picked up Deja Vu, and it has a little bit of scuffing and tearing on the back, but that's all right. Otherwise, it's in pretty good shape. I'm pretty sure it has the manual, so that's good. And yeah, this is along the lines of Shadowgate, which I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to actually playing this through. And it's a, kind of a point and click adventure for the NES. Except I guess you're a detective, not a Shadowgate type person. And we have the venerable old Ice Hockey, which somehow I didn't already have in my collection. This copy did not have the manual, but fortunately I already have that manual in this baggie of manuals right here. So I'll be able to put that, complete that and put it on the old shelf and play classic NES Ice Hockey. And finally for the NES, we got Life Force, which is a game I had to check my list a bunch of times to be sure I didn't actually already have this, because this is one of my favorite NES games. I played it all the time as a kid. I would come home from school and, play through Life Force all the way, and before I did my homework or whatever. I was like, let me breeze through Life Force with the 30 lives code or whatever, and then I'll start my homework or whatever I'm supposed to do for the evening. So an old favorite of mine, and I'm super glad to actually have it in the collection now. I don't think this one had a manual. They had another copy that was more expensive that I guess had the manual in it, but this is kind of more like what I wanted to pay, and so I'm not gonna worry about the manual. Maybe I can track it down someday with not very much. But yeah, Life Force, this is a Gradius sequel, I guess, maybe technically, yes, known as a Salamander in other regions. So that's kind of cool. I guess that's why we have a snake on the front. I don't know. Anyway, Life Force, pretty awesome shooter a la Gradius. And I'm super glad to have it in my official collection, all pretty much complete in a box, more or less. So the other stuff I got at... I'll reach for it. The other stuff I got at Full Circle Toys comes with a little bit of a whoopsie on my part, but we got this stack of goodies, and what happened was I bought these and got all the way home, an hour and a half away, and discovered that I had managed to, the guy behind the counter, Richard, who is the owner, in all the commotion, had managed to forget to actually put the discs in and get them from the binder in the back, because these are from the kind of the shelves in the middle of the store, so they keep the the games themselves in a binder. So I was like, oh no, I've got like 6 of these that are case and manual only, and so on. So that was kind of a frustration to get home and figure that out. But I didn't have a whole lot to do on the Monday after that Saturday, so I just rode on back up to Newnan and picked up my 6 games, and I'm sure you will see that they're totally worth the trip. Because here we go. We have Catwoman, the video game based on the movie, based on the comic, complete, now that I have the disc in it, for the original Xbox. And we have Bruce Lee, Quest of the Dragon, based on the person, I guess, and complete now. Also for the original Xbox. This seems to be an aftermarket case, but I think I have some cases I can switch out, but whatever. And Reservoir Dogs, based on the movie. Who would have thought that Reservoir Dogs had a Xbox game? But there you go. It features signature super sounds of the 70s songs from the film. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I get to light anybody on fire or cut off ears or have big shootouts or toss people out of cars or who knows what, but surely this ought to be fun. Quentin Tarantino's video game? Why not? Is this maybe the most independent movie to get a mainstream video game? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, there we go. Go beyond the film. Take control of the characters and storyline from one of the most influential films of our time. Play through the signature moments from the movie, as well as scenes only discussed in the film, including the diamond heist and stashing the goods. Can't wait. And also, Fantastic Four, based on the movie, based on the comic book, also for the original Xbox. There we go. If you saw my last video, I just picked up Fantastic Four 2 Rise of the Silver Surfer. Was that PS2 that I got that one for? I think so. So now I got Fantastic Four 1 for the Xbox. And now why would I get all these questionable games? Well, I don't know, I'm kind of a sucker for Xbox games anyway, but I have a notion to play through some of these like licensed titles and see how good or bad they really are, and put the gameplay out on the old gameplay channel here. So we'll see together whether this was worth my $7 and 2 trips to Newnan, an hour and a half up the road. But yeah, so be on the lookout for those kind of things coming soon to the channel. Also, we have Never Dead from the Xbox 360 line of video game consoles. And I remember hearing about this game. I don't know if I ever heard that it was any good, but it was a kind of a fun concept where you can get body parts blown off and just keep on going, including if you're down to just a head rolling around or something to that effect. So yeah, new ways to kill, no way to die. Yep, it all started 500 years ago. Bryce gained immortality at a terrible price. His job, hunting demons for the government. If he can keep his head, maybe humanity has a chance. So we'll find out. And finally, another hot dog, we have a wiener. It is a Steel Battalion Heavy Armor, I can never remember the subtitle, for the Xbox Kinect camera unit doohickey. Again, I've heard that this is really bad, and that's okay. I wanted to give it a try, and I'm sort of kind of trying to get all the Kinect games So, here's another one. And this one comes to us from Capcom. And I want to say, did I hear that From Software had something to do with this? Is that possible? Somebody like that. Anyway, so I went to the Full Circle Toys hoping to find the original Steel Battalion, giant controller box set in the Foot Locker thing. I would have definitely picked that up if they had it. Instead, I came home with Steel Battalion for Kinect. At least it's cheaper. Okay, so that about does it for what I went and bought for myself. Now we can take a look at what I got from others for my birthday. This was on my birthday itself, and courtesy of my loving parents, we got Transformers Battlegrounds for the Nintendo Switch. And I love me some Transformers, so that ought to be fun. Lead the Autobots in the ultimate battle, as Bumblebee and the Autobots have a new commander, you, just to say me. And we'll assemble our squad and roll out to battle against the Decepticons, and team up in local multiplayer. So that's, there's something. And similarly, we have G.I. Joe Operation Blackout, also for the Nintendo Switch. Yo Joe! G.I. Joe and Cobra are back. Play as your favorite characters from either Team G.I. Joe or Team Cobra in an intense team-based third-person shooter. Look at all these guys. So I'm excited about these. I relatively recently watched all the G.I. Joe 80s cartoons and the first 3 seasons of Transformers or something like that on Tubi, I guess. And so it'll be fun to get back in that mode with modern games based on these classic properties. And finally, the most iconic fighting game of all is back with Ultra Street Fighter 2, The Final Challengers, also for the Nintendo Switch. And this is that kind of weird Street Fighter, I think it was a Switch exclusive. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is. That is, hit or miss is what I understand, but it's something I've wanted for the Switch since before I even got a Switch. So finally picking it up because it's getting harder to find in stores and stuff. So with the folks giving it to me for my birthday, that was really cool. So you can even have Evil Ryu and Violent Ken. Can't go wrong there. All right, and finally, courtesy of my daughter and wife, we have Cthulhu. That's right. Cthulhu combines a creature with an utter disdain for humanity and no thought spared towards the well-being of others in any way, shape, or form, combines that with Cthulhu, the classic Lovecraft character. So this is the cutest great old one. Well, I guess great old ones are overrated. Anyway, the cutest elder god you're ever going to find. And I couldn't be prouder for my daughter for picking this out for me because it's perfect. So Cthulhu, pretty cool. Yes, so that's it for the birthday haul. Me and Cthulhu are going to go play some video games. And thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. You really are making me happy to do this because seeing your responses is pretty awesome. And yep, so happy birthday to you whenever your birthday is. And we'll see you next time. Bye.